Jesus Christ, I don't even know where to start right now. There's a lot of places I could start from. I'm gonna need a golden wrench in here at the very least to get things started. So let's get ready to thunder. I like it. I actually like that a lot. That's a good little thing you added to the gimmick there, Sage. You'll get half a dollar for every time that's used by someone else outside of here. You'll get paid a royal commission. How's that sound? Anyways, I say, do we start by talking about the demise of the Kansas City Chiefs? Do we start with the MLB Hall of Fame? What do we want to start with here? Actually, we should have wow, that's a good idea. You know, I'll tell him. I'll talk to him. I'll give him a call tonight. I know he's been having trouble sleeping, so I'll wake him up. We'll save the best for last in the Chiefs. All right, well, let's start with a bit of a rant. I'm going to have a sip of this beautiful James Reddy Jr. Dry Ice 6% in 355 milliliter cans because it tastes good and it fucking does the trick too. Let's talk about the MLB Hall of Fame. Just give me a second here. All right. So, the MLB Hall of Fame is absolute horseshit. Yep, Bud Light don't pay enough. Neither does Coors Light. We tried that. These guys will pay, though. They'll pay dividends because I don't have to drink 20 of them to get drunk. I only need 6 or 7 to start feeling real good. Anyway, so this year in the majors, Jeff Kent was the only player that went to the Hall of Fame. He obviously had a great career. Hit 290, had 377 home runs, with his primary position being second base. Former Blue Jay, by the way. He was traded away early on in his career. But it's honestly just fucking stupid as shit, man. Carlos Delgado didn't make the Hall of Fame. Well, obviously no one else did. Don Mattingly didn't. He was supposed to be a shoo-in. Dale Murphy, they didn't make it. And then you've got the two best players of all time per their position, Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, not making it. Gary Sheffield was up for it. I mean, what is going on here? Only one person made the Hall of Fame. The Major League Baseball does this shit every year. And yes, I get that Jeff Kent hit the most home runs out of anyone whose primary position was second base. I guarantee you Jeff Kent did steroids. I'm not trolling. This is the absolute truth. Carlos Delgado, they say he's one and done on the ballot. I think that means Carlos Delgado will never be allowed to be voted in again. Because baseball hates people that have used steroids, yet they just elected someone who I'm pretty sure used steroids. It makes no sense. They need to get off of it. And if you were a fucking all-star pretty much your whole career, you're in the Hall of Fame. If you were in a 10-year stretch, one of the top 5 best players in baseball, you need to be in the Hall of Fame. This is absolute bullshit. We're actually going to go over Carlos Delgado. And do you want to know what they don't like about Carlos Delgado? Carlos Delgado got injured at the age of 37. So he got injured at the age of 37. He had 473 home runs. Okay? If he was at 500 home runs, he'd be a Hall of Famer. But he had a hip injury. Carlos Delgado was an amazing player. Carlos Delgado, I don't know if he was clean, but Carlos Delgado was never on any of the steroid things. David Ortiz was. So I'm going to ask you, Sage. We're just going to talk basics because I know a little bit about the numbers. What do you think Carlos Delgado's career OPS was in his career? And if you don't know, that's fine. So Carlos Delgado, who was clean, who never played in Fenway. OPS, it depends on the era. So in this era, I'm just going to give you two players. I'll give you the OPSs, I'll give you the other stats, and that sort of thing. So David Ortiz is in the Hall of Fame, right? David Ortiz never really became a good player until he played in Fenway. The most home runs David Ortiz had entering his age 27 season was 20 home runs. After that, he went to Fenway, and he hit like 30 to 55 on a pretty regular basis. So David Ortiz in his career has a 931 OPS. He was busted for steroids, but for some reason, they don't care about that. Now, Carlos Delgado, who started with the Jays, went to Florida, went to the Mets, so he ended his career in pitchers' ballparks, has a 929 OPS. You're damn right Pesky Pole was David Ortiz's best friend. So Carlos Delgado isn't linked to steroids whatsoever. Consistently is just a 35 to 40 home run hitter. Occasionally hitting 44, what have you. 473 home runs in how many at-bats or how many plate appearances? 8,657. David Ortiz has 10,091 plate appearances, hits 541, and is a Reuter. So why is David Ortiz in the Hall of Fame? Carlos Delgado isn't. Their OPS is identical. I don't understand here. One guy doped, one guy didn't dope. This is stuff you can find on the internet, man. So why is it okay that David Ortiz was allowed to dope, but fucking Barry Bonds, Alex Rodriguez, Barry Bonds technically was never even found guilty. Major League Baseball just hated him. So to me, that's my argument. Is, oh yeah, David Ortiz had 541 home runs in over 10,000 at-bats, and Delgado had 473 and 8,600 at-bats, or plate appearances, I should say, and never did roids, yet you're not putting Delgado in the Hall of Fame. Plus, David Ortiz was a fucking DH. Delgado actually fucking played the goddamn position of first base. I'm not saying Delgado was a great first baseman in terms of defense, because he wasn't. But he wasn't a fucking DH. So there is that. So that's the first thing I wanted to get off. Delgado deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's got... Okay, where let's just Google it. Where does Carlos Delgado rank for home runs of all time? So we're talking all-time baseball here. 34th ever. 34th ever. Yeah, they love fucking Boston guys, New York guys, though. Okay, where does Carlos Delgado rank for OPS all time? I know it's in the top 80. Ranks 24th among 295 players that had 8,000 plate appearances. 8,000 plate appearances means you're pretty fucking good. So, I don't know. Fuck the Hall of Fame. And then, Don Mattingly was supposed to get in tonight. I don't think Don Mattingly is as deserving as Carlos Delgado. Now, there certainly is nothing out there that suggests that Don Mattingly did steroids. So there's nothing out there on that. Now, he's a first baseman. His career OPS, 830 OPS. Played Gold Glove defense many years. Like, he was a Gold Glover 10 or 11 times in his career. So 830 OPS with 10 or 11 Gold Gloves. A 307 batting average. 358 career on base percentage. I'd probably put him in the Hall of Fame as well. Now, he didn't have power. He only hit 222 home runs, but he did lead the league in doubles 3 straight years ranging from 1984 to 1986. Why are we so frigid to put these players in the Hall of Fame? And then you got some fucking shitty ass players in there that fucking have like 612 fucking OPSs. Like I don't fucking understand what's going on here. I'd rather have too many in the Hall of Fame than too little. And then we want to get into Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, because the fact of the matter is all these fuckers juiced, man. All these fuckers juiced. I'm telling you, man, 50 to 75% of baseball was juicing. Just because they didn't look like fucking a goddamn pumpkin head like Barry Bonds doesn't mean they weren't juicing. Anyways, Sage, am I wrong here? Am I wrong? Is this not bullshit? Is Major League Baseball the worst league for Hall of Fame? In my opinion, it is. We're talking about icons. We're talking about, I don't know. It's disappointing to me. We're not giving enough guys recognition that deserve recognition, in my opinion. Sage, just say I'm right, we'll move on. Just say I'm right and we'll move the fuck on. Or what are your thoughts on the MLB Hall of Fame? Sounds like a dumb Hall of Fame to me. Thank you, Sage. I do appreciate that. Now, sticking with baseball, we don't really have news, but we do have a little bit of, we got a little bit of rumors here to go over. So, the Pittsburgh Pirates have extended a 4-year offer to Kyle Schwarber, who is not even going to consider them, honestly. He's not going to consider signing with the Pittsburgh Pirates. But hey, it's nice to know that Pittsburgh is trying to spend some money, in my opinion. It looks like, I'm just reading here for the first time, Brian Cashman, GM of the Yankees, said on Sunday he wants Cody Bellinger back and that he's yet to host fellow free agent outfielder Kyle Tucker at the Yankees spring training complex. So Tucker lives near Tampa, recently visited the Jays. They might have Bellinger as their priority, which might be like the easier sign. So one last fucking domino to worry about, in my opinion. Sign Bellinger. You know, I'd kind of like Bellinger as a backup option because I feel like if you potentially sign Bo Bichette and you also sign Cody Bellinger, you might have a bit more upside in a way. A bit more upside in terms of like you're saving money, you're signing guys that are good, etc., etc. We'll see what fucking what happens here, but Jesus Christ, 1 second. Just gonna tell this person to stop fucking calling. Okay. Let's get back to it. Yeah, Bellinger, though, scares me a little bit. He's been very inconsistent with his batting average. I feel like he's kind of a product of New York as well, so I'm not necessarily really wanting Cody Bellinger. I'm just saying, you could get potentially better value if you sign Bo Bichette and Bellinger rather than just signing Kyle Tucker. But we'll see what happens. I believe, Sage, you can look it up. I might be wrong, but when are the winter meetings? Do the winter meetings start tomorrow? When do MLB winter... Because there's going to be some action coming. December 7th. Oh my God, they start today. All right, baby. We've got some shit going on. We've got some goddamn shit going on. 3-day event here. This is where you're going to start hearing a lot more rumors for all teams. This is where actually the offseason starts getting fun. Baseball is a fucking slow grind, a slow burn, and it's going to start picking up a little bit. Now, you still might not see guys signing until like January, but you're going to be able to start connecting the dots a little bit. Now, there's a couple guys I'd like to see the Jays sign. One's Edwin Diaz, the other is Roberto Suarez. We'll see if that comes to fruition. But let's move off that. Let's pivot to the San Francisco Giants. Apparently, are interested in Framber Valdez. Framber Valdez is considered either the top or the second best free agent pitcher in this class. Now, he is 32 years old. He is a lefty. Dylan Cease is the one that was considered the other guy in the top two. So, what are they doing there? He actually met with the Giants, according to John Morosi. Known to have conversation with the Orioles and the Mets. Don't think he'd necessarily have interest in the Orioles. The Orioles are not known as being very big spenders. I mean, the Mets, we know they have the money. If they want them, they could probably drag them in. The Orioles, though, really need pitching. If they could entice them, I really like what the Orioles have as a team position-wise. But let's see what happens there. That's interesting. The Giants are usually in on a lot of guys. They miss out on quite a bit, kind of like the Jays. But we'll see what happens there. All right, let's get to football. We're going to start with real football. Then we are going to get to fantasy football there. So, what happened today? Well, the New York Jets are who we thought they were. They lost 34-10 to the Miami Dolphins, who improved to 6-7. The Jets are now 3-10, and it's not like Tua was that good. He only biffed 127 yards and a touchdown. Running the ball, looks like a guy named Jalen Wright did very well. Devon Arcane, 92 yards on 7 fucking carries, 240 as a team. The Jets fucking suck. Who cares? Pittsburgh Steelers did what they needed to do. They held off Baltimore. They won 27-22. I believe these two teams will play in a couple weeks, and that's going to be a huge-ass game there. Notable performance goes to DK Metcalf, who had his best game of the season, 148 yards on 7 receptions. That's 21.1 per carry there. Not per carry, but per catch. Now, this is pretty big upset here. It kind of does change the stratosphere a little bit in the AFC South. New Orleans, obviously not going to make the playoffs, did beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 24-20. So now Carolina and Tampa have the same record. So it's extremely possible that Tampa Bay is not going to make the playoffs and Carolina is going to be a division winner. We'll see if that comes to fruition, but just extremely interesting that this is even a possibility. Baker Mayfield, I don't know what's been going on with him lately. He's been playing like shit for a little while here. I've got good news for Sage. And we're not talking about the Tennessee Titans game. We are talking about the Indianapolis Colts losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars 36-19. Jaguars are now 9-4. The Colts have now lost 4 in a row. They also lost Daniel Jones in the process, tore his Achilles. Riley Leonard will be their starting quarterback from here on out. So the Indianapolis Colts will end with a record of 8-9 by the end of the season. Now, speaking of the aforementioned Tennessee Titans, these Titans today, they did something not even the Kings of the North, the Green Bay Packers, could do. They beat the Cleveland Browns down 31-29. They improved to a 2-11 record. The Browns 3-10. It looks like Cam Ward barely did shit all. He fucking threw 2 touchdowns and interception, but only 117 yards. A fucking minuscule 4.2 per fucking throw. However, Tony Pollard, he ran. He ran like a fucking doe, a fucking deer in the fucking headlights, trying to get away from that car that's about to hit him. Fucking 25 carries, 161 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So Tony Pollard took care of business today. Sage says Cam was fine. The Browns are the second-ranked defense. Well, I know that the Browns are one of the best defenses in football. I do know that. They are extremely good. Very surprised you guys were able to run the ball on them, though, because they are stout defensive line. I don't know their fucking players on defense. Like, I should really look that up. I know they're fucking good, though. I do know that. This is my pick from yesterday. This, to me, is the one that got away. I wanted to pick the Vikings to win, but I hate J.J. McCarthy. No offense, J.J. McCarthy. Minnesota improves to 5-8 after winning 31-0 to the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels sucks. That's what you'll see if you look at the fucking stat cast over here. Washington kind of proven to be a bit of a fluke. Jaden Daniels, to me, is starting to look like C.J. Stroud. That's what they're doing. And they've got a very old defense, so I don't think they're going to get any better. But J.J. McCarthy's breakout game. 3 touchdowns. Hasn't done that yet. Big game for him. And I believe this is no, they're not the number 1 team right now. They were, and then the Rams leapfrogged them. I don't really have to say much about this game. Sam Darnold had a great game today. 3 touchdowns, interception, 112 rating. Beat the fucking Falcons 37-9. I'm going to guess they had some good defensive plays in there. I know Njigba had a big game. What did they do defensively? Well, he had fucking 1 sack. They must have did some other things well. I know Ernest Jones did, my guy. And the Bills came back against the Bengals today. Disappointing. Joe Burrow did what he needed to do to potentially get me into the playoffs. We're going to thank Joe Burrow. There was a pick 6, kind of a fluky pick 6. I'm not going to put any heat on him. He had 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Man, if he had just had 1, it would have been nice. Josh Allen had 4 total touchdowns, 3 of them passing. Good game. 39-34 for the Bills over the Bengals. Pretty good game. And this is the Packers' next opponent. So we've got the 11-2 Broncos next week. I think we're going to beat them. I mean, they're 11-2. I feel like they start slow. I feel like you can confuse Bo Nix. I feel like they had a close game against a team that fielded not just Geno Smith, but Kenny Pickett as well for 11 attempts passing. They haven't been able to run the ball either, the Vegas, almost at the Vegas Knights. So, yeah, they're 11-2. Vegas 2-11. I don't know what that means in the standings, if that means Vegas is worse than the Titans. I don't know, Sage, you'll have to tell me, but bring on Denver next week. We'll fucking set them down. Now, to me, this was a disappointing win for the Packers, and I'll explain why here shortly. Now, first and foremost, we won 28-21. We are now the Kings of the North with a 9-3-1 record. And that's what pisses me off a little bit about people that are like, oh my God, we shouldn't have ties in football. There shouldn't be ties. These ties actually matter. They help your fucking win percentage. And I'm being told that the Titans are still in last place, so Sage is still very happy about that. Very giddy, I would say. So no, ties matter. It fucking helps your fucking win percentage. The Packers, we'll get into the percentages of who's going to do what soon. But we won 28-21. Literally came down to, I believe they were on our 14-yard line. And then Caleb Williams threw an interception to Keyshawn Nixon. I want Matt LaFleur to fuck off a little bit. You know, and if Matt LaFleur can't do it, then maybe it's time to get rid of him. And bring in someone who can keep the fucking foot on the fucking pedal, in my opinion. because it's getting a little bit ridiculous. A, we generally start games slow. So we didn't really start that slow today. But B, when we've got a lead, say like a 10-point lead. For example, today, we were up fucking 14-3 coming into the second half. Okay, and what do? We pitch a fucking tent. We put up fucking 3-0 to start the half. This is where you need to double up. You need to at least go up by fucking throw 7. It's time to start going up and putting people out of the way. The Packers have had way too many fucking close games this year, and it shouldn't be happening. There should be some blowouts intertwined in there as well. And it's not like Caleb Williams threw the ball well today, because he absolutely did not. In fact, the only time he knows how to throw the ball is when he pivots to his right, moves out of the pocket, and hits a little fucking dunk between 5 and 15 yards at the sidelines. That's about all he knows how to pass right now. His completion percentage was lousy. I'll give him credit. He can run. He's good at running the fucking ball, but he's a quarterback. He needs to really develop how he drops back, how he passes, because he's not good enough. He's not good enough. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I think the Detroit Lions are extremely happy that the Chicago Bears lost today, because the Packers, who now improve to 4-0 against their division opponents, and they're already 2-0 against the Detroit Lions, well, Detroit knows they're probably not going to be able to leapfrog the Packers. It's just not going to happen with, 4 fucking games left? It's not going to happen. But the Bears, well, they play the Bears in Week 18. So, extremely possible that they'll be able to take care of that. And extremely likely, in my opinion, it'll be for either of these two teams, if they don't make it, the Bears or the Lions, it'll be very disappointing. I'll say the Bears put up a good fucking fight today. We'll see you again in 2 weeks, and we'll kick your fucking ass. But they've had a really good resurgent year. The Lions have regressed, but they are a very good team. They're actually a much better team than the Chicago Bears. So I actually think the Bears are going to be the team on the outside looking in, unless something happens to the San Francisco 49ers. But, yeah, let's get to a bit of the box score stuff. So Jordan Love made one big mistake today, one stupid turnover, but he did have 3 touchdowns, 2 of them going to Christian Watson, had 121 rating. I just don't like that pick early in the game. I feel like the Luke Musgrave catch, that was not, to me it felt like a catch. I'll have to watch the footage, and I'll probably watch the footage a little later tonight. I don't think it should have been overturned, but again, I was just watching it live. I have no idea. It was really nice for Bo Melton, who is actually a cornerback on this team, a reserve cornerback, special teams player, who can also play wide receiver. He had a 45-yard touchdown strike because Jayon Johnson didn't move back and cover where he was supposed to cover as well. He was just matched up with a safety in the middle, and I believe that safety had to come off his assignment as well. So it was nice for him to make the catch. I mean, it's only his 3rd touchdown in 3 years, but I mean, I'm sure he's pretty fucking happy about it. Josh Jacobs had a productive day, 20 carries for 86 yards, a 4.3 average, and he did have a touchdown. We're going to need to see more out of Josh Jacobs down the stretch. He has not been as good, not even close to as good as last year, so we really need to see it. Be interesting to see what Marshawn Lloyd does when he comes back. Jaden Reed had a very good return, four receptions, 31 yards as well. He had 22 yards on 2 carries, so good first game back for him. Kind of a little annoying in a way is Romeo Doubs had no catches today, no targets, no nothing. So not very likely for him to have that happen again, but Still kind of concerning if you ask me. Luke Musgrave was targeted quite a bit, but obviously there was that callback play, and they were kind of playing our tight ends equally. So I feel like Musgrave, they need to use him a little bit more. And it appears that Sage is back. So like I said, the Packers are 9-3-1. The Bears are 9-4. So the Kings of the North are here to stay. Was there any doubt that the Los Angeles Rams wouldn't kick the shit out of the Arizona Cardinals? Well, that's what they did. Matt Stafford was on fire today, 3 touchdowns. He threw up 131 rating, 281 yards. I know if you owned him in fantasy and you were going up against someone who owned Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, it was a little bittersweet because all your points were getting offset by the great Puka Nacua, who went for 167 yards, 7 receptions, and 2 fucking totes. This was Sage. This was Sage against Dan and their little cockfight. The Rams, I believe, are now first in the league. Could be wrong. I'm pretty sure they're first in the league because they beat Seattle. We'll get into that in a second. But, Sage, I understand your frustration. I really do. And Sunday Night Football. Sage, did you watch Sunday Night Football? I hope you did. I really hope you did. Sage is winning by... We don't get to the fantasy stuff. I'm not going to spoil it by saying that you're winning by 21, man. I'm not going to do it until that's the segment. We're still in real we're in real football right now. We're in real football right now. Yes, you retracted your message. I like that. I like that it actually says retracted and not deleted. It's more classy. All I gotta say tonight, Houston, if I knew that there was 3 offensive linemen out for the Kansas City Chiefs, I definitely would have picked Houston to win. I know I picked them to cover, but I would have picked them to win. They won 20-10, despite C.J. Stroud really not playing that good. I mean, he had an 80 rating, 203 yards, completion percent south of 50%, 15 for 31. Patrick Mahomes, though, was also south of fucking 50% for his completion percentage. 14 for 33, 3 interceptions now. I think like 2 of them probably weren't his fault. Jalen Petrie made a great play on one. Kelsey fucked up on another. But this team does not look very good. Pat Mahomes had 1 fantasy point. That's... You know what? He shouldn't even have 1 fantasy point, in my opinion. Not with a 19.8 rating, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. To me, that's a negative performance. But I guess he did run for 59 yards, on 7 carries, so that's okay. It's funny because, Houston didn't do shit. Houston really did not do shit. Woody Marks ran for fucking 68 yards and 26 carries. That's only 2.6 a carry. C.J. Stroud, like I said, 200 yards, 6.5 per throw. It's not like he did very good. Nico Collins did good, but that doesn't mean shit because that's pretty much their entire offense the entire game. They only had 203 total yards. The 3 turnovers matter, plus going for it on 4th down, the 4th and 1, where Mahomes threw it to Rashee Rice, and Rashee Rice proceeded to drop it, which hurts me in fantasy, but I was happy with. But, yeah, Houston improves to 8-5. Kansas City can rest in peace at 6-7. I don't care if their playoff probability is 16% or 13%. They are officially eliminated. When you need to, A, run the table, and B, have multiple teams get multiple losses, Kansas City is cooked. Put a spork in them, they're done. It's over. It's always been over. Now, you know what? I'm going to talk a little bit about Kansas City because I think their fans are fucking idiots. Because all these fans that come around after they win a championship and that sort of thing, they fucking piss me off a lot. I'll give a shout out to Chris Jones tonight. Had a great game. Could have probably had 3 sacks, that sort of thing. But the thing is, I liked Kansas City when they had Alex Smith and fucking Andy Reid. And in fact, I liked them when they had Jamal Charles. I liked them when they had Tony Gonzalez. But do you know when I stopped liking them? When all the bandwagon fans started jumping on board. Oh, we've won championships. It pisses me off that there is so many bandwagon fans. They're like, yeah, I love the Chiefs. And you know the first question I'll ask people, yeah, since when? Since when? It's the same as when the Seahawks got good for a couple years. Remember when the Seahawks were like the Legion of Boom? You know, I'd ask because I liked the Seahawks when they had Matt Hasselbeck and Sean Alexander, et cetera, et cetera. But I'd always ask them, since when? Since when did you like these teams? And it's just, to me, it's just amazing that people have to gravitate towards success in order to be a fan. That's why I've got so much respect for Sage, because he's not in there for success. He's in there because he loves his fucking team. It's the same thing with New England. All these New England people, these were not fans of New England in the 90s when New England was scuffling. These were people that came in after New England had won 2 Super Bowls. And that's when they became fans of New England. And that's what makes me disgusted. I respect what New England did. I would be a fan of Bill Belichick and Tom Brady and what they did if it weren't for fucking stupid-ass fucking fans and stupid-ass fucking media with their stupid-ass fucking narratives, in my opinion. Who was their tight end before Travis Kelce is a good question. You know what? I like that question. And I like that question a lot. And you know what's funny? Most aren't going to know that it was Tony Gonzalez. And B, if they do know the name Tony Gonzalez, they're going to say Travis Kelce was a better tight end than Tony Gonzalez, which is not even close to the truth. Honestly, I'll take Antonio Gates and I'll take Tony Gonzalez on my team any day over Rob Gronkowski, over Travis Kelce, etc., etc. Back in those days, who did Tony Gonzalez have throwing to him? Fucking Green, Trent Green for a little bit. Their last QB before Pat Mahomes would have been Alex Smith. It would have been Alex Smith because he was their stopgap bridge. Now, before that, we're talking, they had Trent Green, I think, and he got injured by Brock Lesnar and had to end his career. I could be wrong about this, man, but I'm pretty sure Brock Lesnar ended them. Yeah, Chiefs fans wouldn't know who Alex Smith is. They wouldn't know that Alex Smith had his fucking leg broken, and then I think he returned with, Washington, and got comeback player of the year. Like, and they would not know who Jamal Charles is, man. Jamal Charles. I loved Jamal Charles. This little fucking scatback who could play. I believe Jamal Charles, you can look it up. I think I'll be right. I believe he averaged over 6 yards per carry. It's either 2012 or 2013. I'm actually looking it up because Jamal Charles was an explosive fucking player. But that's what I mean. These Chiefs fans don't know this. They don't know this at all. I was going to say 6.5. In 2010, Jamal Charles had 1,467 yards for a 6.4 average on 230 carries. The year before that, 5.9, 1120 on 190 carries. And then, after that, 2012, 5.3, 1,500 yards. This guy would have been a Hall of Famer if his career could have just been elongated a little bit. It really sucks. But I think with Jamal Charles, he was so fast. that once he lost a bit of a step, he wasn't like Derrick Henry or one of these big backs who could just keep going in the trenches and picking up yards that way. You know what I mean? And they'll never know the struggle real Chiefs fans had when their wide receiver core was McCluster and Bo. Oh, I remember Bo. Bo was okay, wasn't he? Was Dwayne Bo or something like that? I don't know what his actual name was. Dexter McCluster. I remember. I think he was a pretty good special teams player, but he couldn't catch. He couldn't catch a cold, honestly. I remember they had. Who was that safety they had back in the day? Eric something. They had a really good safety that I used to get in the video games. So yeah, that's what I mean. Like they don't even know their. Yeah, Matt Castle throwing the ball too. Huh. It brings back because this was a team I believe the Chiefs went a couple years where they had only won 2 or 3 ball games. In fact, I think in 2012. I'm going to look up the 2012. Or it might have been 2011. 2011 Kansas City Chiefs. No, was it 2011 or 2012? Maybe it was 2012. Because I know that they had a year where they beat the Packers. And I think it was when the Packers went 15-1 or the year after. Yeah. So they had a 2-14 record in 2012. And let's just see who some of their players was. Sage is right. You had Matt Castle. Backup was Brady Quinn. Running back was Jamal Charles, who was amazing. Dwayne Bowe. Jonathan Baldwin. Jonathan Baldwin didn't quite pan. Tight end Tony Mawiki. Had a pretty good year that year. Justin Houston, Derek Johnson, Eric Berry. See, I said Eric. Eric Berry was the safety that I used to get mad at all the time. And they had a nice nose tackle, too. Won Rookie of the Year that year, Dontari Poe. See, why do I remember these shit teams? I'm not even a fan of them. They had fucking Tamba Hali as well. Jesus Christ. Ooh, what years was Mike Vrabel a Chief? Let me Google that. Years was Mike Vrabel a Chief? I remember he was a Chief. He was what, New England and then Chiefs. He played during the 2009-2010 season, so he had been traded to them. That was his last two. That was his last 2 seasons essentially, and they said, "Fuck this, I'm done with this shit." Yeah, you're right. It's 09 and 10. That's hilarious, actually. See, this is what I don't like, though. Okay, you're a Tennessee fan, and I'm a Green Bay fan, and we seem to know more about the Kansas City fucking team than their own fans do. That's a problem. That's a problem, man. Like, no, you don't just jump on a bandwagon after there's been success like that. It's just annoying. Unless you're in the locality, I get it, okay? Like, if you're in Toronto, the Jays go to the playoffs, go to the finals, yeah, you're going to cheer Toronto. Yeah, if you're in Kansas City, of course you're going to. But I'm talking about, like, people around here. Like, people in fucking Nova Scotia. Or people in Ontario. It's like, okay, you're cheering for the fucking Chiefs all of a sudden? How many Golden State Warriors fans did we have prior to 2015? We didn't have that many. Yeah, we studied football a little bit. Yeah, a lot of the fans these days are there because of fucking Taylor fucking Swift. And it's like, people are like, oh, it's so good for football. It's so good for football. No, who gives a shit, man? Who gives a shit? I don't give a shit about Taylor Swift. I don't give a shit that she's dating Travis Kelce. Why the fuck do I care about that? And why the fuck are you pushing this little narrative down my goddamn fucking throat? They've been better. They've been better with it this year. But last year was ridiculous. Those Swift fans go away once Kelce retires. Well, I think Kelsey will actually be retiring after this season. He kind of hinted at it earlier, and if you saw him on the sidelines after his drop led to an interception, it just looks like he knows that his career is done. It looks like he knows that his career is done. All right, let's get to just where we stand in the AFC, the NFC, and then we'll get to OJ's juicery. We really went off on Kansas City for a while there, who are now 6-7. But in the AFC, you got the Broncos 11-2 in first place, going up against, I think, the Green Bay Packers next. So good luck to them. Patriots also 11-2. We already went over it. Weak schedule. They're second place. I really feel like the AFC is weaker than the NFC. I don't feel like Denver's battle tested. I don't feel like the Patriots are. I really don't feel like Jacksonville, who's in third place with a 9-4 record, is that battle tested. I don't feel like the Steelers. Yes, they've got Aaron Rodgers. They got a veteran team. I just don't feel like they're that good at 7-6. The Bills, yeah, I like Josh Allen. He has a tendency to turn the ball over a little bit. Has no receivers, and also their defense can't stop the run at all. The Chargers, to me, are going downhill. They've got Justin Herbert. That's great, but I don't know. They're 8-4. I just don't really trust them a whole lot. The Texans, I mean, I love the Texans' defense, but I don't love anything else. I don't love their running game. I don't love their fucking quarterback. I do love Nico Collins. I do love Jaden Higgins. I do like Dalton Schultz. I do like that. And then on the bubble, you've got the Indianapolis Colts, who just lost Daniel Jones. I don't think their season was going to go right anyway. They just lost 4 games in a row. They started hot. We kind of called them pretenders on this channel, and I think we were kind of right. Then you got the Ravens, 9th place, 32% chance to get in. The only chance they're getting in is by beating the Steelers down the stretch. The Chiefs are done. 15% chance to get in. They're a 10 seed right now. It's over. They've got the same record as the fucking Dolphins, who have less than a 1% chance to get into the playoffs. So let's just call it there. Chiefs are out. Dolphins are out, even though they're not officially out. Ravens can only slide in because of their shitty-ass division. And I'd say the Colts are out as well. They're not going to win shit with Riley Leonard. Now, NFC to me, this is where the Super Bowl is coming from, in my opinion. And I don't know who's going to win it because there are some really good teams, well-balanced teams, in my opinion. The LA Rams, I mean, they're 10-3. They've got Stafford. They've got weapons. They've got defense. They scare me. They scare me. The Packers, obviously, getting a little healthy right now. Have to run the ball better, but they've got options on offense. They've got great defense as well. Third place, you've got the Eagles, 8-4. The Eagles, to me, have kind of overachieved. I do not trust Jalen Hurts a ton. I feel like Saquon Barkley has not only regressed to the mean, but I feel like he's just not running the ball well this year. I do feel like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are both very good options. They're going to make the playoffs. I'm just not sure. I'm just not sold on them, to be honest with you. Tampa Bay Bucks, I'm not sold on them at all. They've got a -24, I believe, point differential. Just lost to the Saints. Carolina's kind of coming after them. They've got a good shot to make the playoffs. What pisses me off, though, is they should not be the 4 seed because the team that should be the 4 seed is the Seahawks, who are 10-3. It's like, okay, you want to keep the division, you win the division, you get a playoff spot. If that's how you want to do it, do it. Do not give home field advantage just because you won a division. Because the Seahawks are far better than the Buccaneers, and we all know this. Even the 49ers at 9-4 are better than the Buccaneers. Even the Browns, Bears, currently 9-4 in 7th place, are better than the fucking Buccaneers. The Buccaneers should be a 7 seed. And if you take it one step further and you get rid of the whole division, oh yeah, you win your division, you make the playoffs, well then the Lions would be in. The Lions are 8-5. They're not in the playoff spot. Great point differential. I do think they'll break the Bears' hearts down the stretch. Panthers, 9th place right now, 7-6. They can easily make the playoffs over the Bucks, but we'll see what happens there. Cowboys are unofficially eliminated, as are the Vikings. So we're kind of starting to dwindle it down a little bit, and we kind of see where we're at. Let's take a look at the juicery. It's all about the juicery. Let me see if there's any comments. Eagles regressed everywhere. Their offensive coordinator sucks. It seems like their offensive coordinator always sucks, man. I don't know what the fuck it is. Those Swift... Alright, I think we're all caught up there. So, this is just early reports right here. It appears that Sage potentially could be the 2 seed. He's up 327 to 306. Projected to win by 9, so that could hold true. Fourth quarter, Steven is hanging in the pocket at 263.43 to 263.68 against TDs in your face. Projected to win by less than 4 points. If that happens, well, you will see yours truly in the playoffs, and you will see a championship coming. Because butt fumble safety versus hard count on that. Well, butt fumble safety is up 225 to 197, projected to win 257 to 218, and Patrick Piskins barely is going to beat Tim Tebow Bible Club, projected to win 250 to 243. So we'll see. I just need to hang on for one more day, and we'll see what happens. It doesn't help that Rashee Rice sucks. It doesn't help that Romeo Doubs didn't get a grab. But at the end of the day, A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley are going to get the job done for me, and they're going to make that trade look really good. I wish I would have played Harold Fannin over Zach Ertz, who tore his Achilles or his ACL, I forget which. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Live and learn, live and cut. These guys are all going down the goddamn drain. If I make the playoffs, I owe it to Sage. No, I owe it to David Montgomery for not fucking me over twice. And I should have fucking kept goddamn fucking Evan Williams on my fucking team. Anyways, that's enough. That's enough football talk for the night. We're out of here. We got one game tomorrow. We got the Chargers and the Eagles. We'll go over it. We got winter meetings starting up tomorrow. We will have some rumors. Hopefully we have some actual fucking news, though. And we'll have a little bit more to chat about. But, Sage, I will say I do appreciate the fact that, we both had a chance to rip the Chiefs tonight. And we did it by having more knowledge than most Chiefs fans. So I do appreciate that. This is true, but you would have been disappointed, Sage. You would have been disappointed that there'd be buys during the playoffs and that you would have been almost a new Sean Rice. And we know you're not a Sean Rice. We know that. You're not that type of commissioner. At the end of the day, in order to get a platinum wrench, you must be an honest man. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Alright, we will be back tomorrow. Very happy that people can shut the fuck up about Kansas City, at least for another year. But I do think it's going to be extremely hard for them to get back anywhere close to what they used to be. Down to listen to a little bit of Tom Petty, a little bit of Chris Christopherson, a little Johnny Cash. Y'all have a good night. See you tomorrow.